Hello. Today I will be speaking with Mark Kieselbeck, Community Planning and Development Director regarding building statistics in the township. Thank you so much for joining us. So
You're
the
welcome.
first month alone, the township brought in $4.7 million in new investments. Could you tell us what these investments were in?
Uh, this year, a little bit different than normal years. January typically is a slow month for residential construction or new house starts. And this year, that was almost the bulk of that with new house starts. We had six new house starts in that, and then we had the um, uh, one commercial permit that was part of that 7 million in that. Uh, but again, it's a good year for residential. Started out. We've have two new subdivisions that have started taking and getting building permits for housing. It's been a while for that to happen. COVID really slowed down their progress in getting the lots ready so that they could have a building put on them. So hopefully this year we're looking forward to having a better year than last year on especially residential construction.
Now, this time last year, the township brought in $1.5 million in new investments. What do you think caused the increase in investments this year?
Uh, well, I think last year, again, we were predicting a much worse, um, at least for collecting of value of construction and projects coming in. We thought with COVID, it was really going to impact us. Um, it did impact us, but not as severe or as bad as we thought it was going to be. Uh, and I think people are more confident uh, now and moving ahead, especially with the economy the way it is. And they're going to move ahead and do projects that hopefully this year will happen. We did have a couple fairly large projects that dropped out last year and said they just were going to put them on hold because of the COVID issue. Now, again, if it resolves itself, maybe not this year, but maybe by 2022, we'll see those projects come back.
Are people investing in the same things they are now as they were last year?
Not well. Last year we had more commercial activity, remodeling, new businesses or new buildings being built. Uh, the residential, I think, and maybe if I haven't mentioned it before on this, one of the slowest years in probably the last 12 years for us on on the number of new house starts, and part of that is we just you could see it coming for the last 3 years. We had started going down on residential construction because the number of available lots were declining. And we didn't have any new projects um, ready to be have a building permit issued for. Uh, but late in the year, these other two new subdivisions have come online. So that I think will pick up the residential. The projects that have been approved most recently through the township board have a residential component to them all. So if they move forward, um, that's going to increase the residential part of it. Um, the commercial got hit a little harder because of COVID and getting the financing that they need to move forward on their projects, and that may be slower to come back. So that's why it may be 2022 before we see any more increase in commercial projects.
So I take it that you are receiving more permits for residential projects than commercial projects due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, I think that was part of it, but again, I think it's now with new areas to build, those are going to open up, and again, we've got a couple more that could be ready this year with construction. It just depends on the construction season for these developers on how it works, but certainly we're hoping for a better year in 2021. I think 2022 could be a really good year for us.
Is there a particular area in the township that is being invested in more, or are these investments being spread out?
Right now, the what we're looking at is more I'd say the outside edges of the township, not right in the center of the township, um, for development. Um, Hazlet, we've got a couple in the Hazlet area, one up in the north west area of the township near Saginaw. We've got a couple down in near Jolly Road, both east and west of Okemos Road, in those areas for development. So more on the edge, not right in the center of the township.
Is there a particular reason for this?
I think it's the available land that's there. And again, the majority of the property, what I say when I say Okemos, Grand River, Marsh Road, that center portion of the township is primary developed. So they're looking at the outer edges of for vacant land to do developments on.
How does the township benefit from these investments?
Well, again, the overall investment is first is the building, the cost to build the building, that building permit fees help to cover the cost for the township staff because we do the inspections for all those buildings. The second part is once that building's built is the property taxes and the value that it adds to the income that comes into the township to pay for all the other services that we provide.
Now, the township earned quite a few awards. Best Town in Michigan to Raise a Family from Newsweek magazine in 2021, and Best Small Town in Michigan to Live from Niche 2020. What makes Meridian the best small town or the best town to raise a family?
Well, I think my opinion, again, is that great school systems, great parks. We've got a lot of parks. We've got land preservation, those things that people are looking for. I think the quality, and that's one of the things that we try to strive for, is good quality development, looking for what people want to, whether they live in a residential neighborhood or maybe they want to be in an apartment complex or, the type of shopping they want. I think we strive to find the best we can for the township.
Where do you see the township looking forward?
Well, a lot of it depends on how we get through this COVID and the pandemic. Certainly, we're looking forward to that being over and getting past. I really think that the areas you're going to see the improvements in, and again, it started in the downtown Okemos area, the Four Corners, Hamilton, and Okemos Road. They've cleared that site. We've seen a lot of interest in the what we are calling the downtown Hazlet area for development. We've got one project approved. Hopefully that will start construction this year. That's a mixed housing with senior housing and commercial development as part of that project. So I think those are going to be those infill areas, I think are the next step, and maybe along the west portion of Grand River Avenue where the oldest buildings are, that those those areas probably are going to see more redevelopment and reinvestment.
Is there anything else you would like to add before we end this interview?
No, I think that's it.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a good day.
Yep, you too. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you all for watching this interview today with Mark Kieselback, Community Planning and Development Director. I'm Janelle James, HOMTV.